Cowboys and Texans week 5 still going on, but I got Steve Kaufmann, so it's all good. Let's go.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
That sweet theme song. You know that I'm bad.
This is not where I parked my car. This is...
Oh my goodness gracious. Welcome to Sunday Night Football. I'm here. It is Evan Mack, but I am not alone tonight. I have a pleasant surprise, wonderful surprise. My man, Steve Kaufmann?
Yes. So, true story.
What's going on right now?
I was in the hallway because I'm covering the WWE Super Show here at 10 o'clock. So, and I do the Netflix show at 7 o'clock. So I'm already here. I was in the hallway watching Doctor Who.
Okay.
Because I couldn't watch Doctor Who this morning because I'm the only person in the world who can say the sentence, this new Doctor Who time slot really interrupts football for me. I'm the guy.
That is true, though. People that watch Doctor Who don't get to utter that sentence.
Like, I'm the guy. I'm the cross section between football fans and Doctor Who fans. And if there's more of you, please let us know in the chat. I was drinking a big gulp of iced tea, eating
couple slices of pizza.
Eating slices of 7-Eleven pizza, which is not pizza. It's 7-Eleven pizza. There's a big difference.
It fills the void, though.
Watching Doctor Who.
Yes.
And it was, hey Steve, do you like football? And I was like, I may or may not have been at a Dave & Buster's 10 o'clock this morning.
That's my man. See,
I may have been watching 8 football games at once this morning.
This is why I love this, man. That's where I first met you, though.
Yes.
I first got introduced to the wonderful Steve Kaufmann. This is before I knew you loved wrestling. This is before I knew anything about you, and it was just Eagles.
The NFC East after show.
Yes.
Because that was an after show that existed here, and it was amazing.
And it's really crazy because the games are still going on right now. The game is still going on right now.
We're stalling a little in hopes that there's some type of finale.
That's why we're doing the origin story. We're doing the backstory because it's really hot and heavy right now. I'm watching it right now, 16-16. 2 minutes, 48 seconds left in overtime. But while that's still going on, since I have my resident Eagles fan here.
Yes.
That's word on the street.
All right.
The scuttlebutt. Is that
Are you
right?
trying to say the scuttlebutt is that I'm an Eagles fan? I think that's like the scuttlebutt is that water is wet.
Yes, exactly. So you guys have suffered a tough loss today.
We suffered a tough loss last week as well.
Okay, so let's talk about it right now. First of all, let's talk about you as a true Eagles fan, a real Eagles fan, before Super Bowl Eagles fan. What do you think is going on? Do you think there's a problem? Do you think it's Super Bowl hangover? Is that a real thing? What's going on? Talk to me real quick.
I can't say Super Bowl hangover isn't a thing.
It is. It definitely is.
It's definitely a provable phenomenon. Yeah. I do think. I think there's something to be said about the personnel, the inconsistent personnel up top.
Injuries too, though.
Yeah, injury. Like it's a personnel thing. Yeah. Because I think heading into this game, Doug Peterson was interviewed, and I think heading into the second half of this game, he was interviewed, and they were like, "Well, what do you think the problem is?" And he was like, "I don't know, but I'm acknowledging." Like even he would acknowledge, like there's just a problem. Like we're getting picked off and losing touchdowns. Like
Red zone was a little bit of an issue too.
Red zone's been a problem this whole season so far. I think whatever the problem was the first 2 weeks of the playoffs last year.
Right.
Which was that Nick Foles was good, not great, and we would win.
Defense was hellacious.
And the defense was hellacious, but the fact that our first playoff win was super, super ugly. And it was with Nick Foles.
Atlanta, right? Barely getting by Atlanta.
We barely got by Atlanta.
But then he rattled off the 2 best playoff Super Bowl game I've ever seen in my entire life.
Exactly. But you don't have to be consistent if the only best 2 games of your career are
NFC Championship,
the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. You can go to Disney World.
It's like
you can go to Disney World, sign a huge contract in the summer.
Yeah.
Barely beat Atlanta in week 1. and then do what's happening right now.
And but also what a lot of people don't understand is the NFL is a very unique sport, unique thing because they actually stack the deck against you when you win. Though.
Yeah.
Your schedule's tougher. The games are more scheduled against more winning teams.
You get a worse draft pick. Whenever people try to tell me socialism's bad, I always point to the NFL versus. Woo! But just as a pure game theory thing, whether or not what they think socialism is versus what socialism textually is.
Right.
The best example of distribution of assets I can see in the world is the National Football League, which is if you do the best,
yes,
you get the least because you already did the best.
Absolutely.
And if you did the worst, you get the most.
Yes.
But part of that, obviously, you have to just announce that there could be an unfair advantage, and I think that's part of the problem with other sports.
Houston closing in.
Is Houston okay?
They a field goal wins it, I believe. Still 16-16.
So maybe you might know these rules a little better than me.
Are we talking about overtime right now?
Overtime rules. Please help me.
We're filling in space, y'all. We're gonna get to the game, but okay, listen. All right, listen. So overtime rules. 10 minutes on the clock. Coin flip. All right, heads, I got the ball. Now, if I score a touchdown in the first possession, game's over.
Yes, that's
a thing.
That was always that rule has never changed, and I think the argument about 5 or 10 years ago was if you win the coin flip, you win overtime.
That was because they were doing by the numbers and say they marched the ball down the field. But even before back in the day. Was it the first points that won back in? Was that a little bit good? Was it like if you
that was
standard?
What I'm
right?
saying is the touchdown is always that has never changed up until fairly recently. I want to say 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, now if you don't score on your first possession, now after that you as a punter or whatever, now it's the next score that wins.
Yes. So if you march down the field and get a field goal, because I think that's the other thing. That's I think that's what people would say, and the statistics were on their side of you win,
especially if it comes down to a Super Bowl game.
Yeah,
and a field goal you get beat. Field goal's about to happen right now.
All right,
36-yard field goal to win the game, I believe, for the Texans to continue those Cowboy woes.
Now, the overtime rules in college football, and I don't believe they've changed from the insanity I've always known them to be, which is
bananas.
Because you would I believe they allot 2 overtime periods. Whatever you score, you have the opportunity, the other team will have the opportunity to respond. Houston has made that. I was about 6 seconds ahead of you.
Yep.
Which is weird because you probably paid for.
No, it's funny. It's a whole lot of things going on this phone right now.
You probably paid for the stream you have, and I did not.
I didn't know you had it. No, but it's so interesting. So see that the game's over. Okay, and it was an overtime game, and there's been overtime games every single week, 5 weeks straight.
Yeah.
I personally listen. I don't have, like I said, I was talking to you off here. I don't have the answer. I do not have the answer with the veterans because college football is nuts.
Yes.
Ball on the 25, score.
Well,
back and forth.
I will, in defense of college football doesn't necessarily have to compete on a national level.
Oh, it's true. Plus, I'm telling you,
it's built into the market.
Yeah.
Who's gonna watch the game, and there's a very clear ceiling.
Yeah. Plus,
if you get anywhere close to it, people are like, "Cool, they're watching the game.
Plus,
Let's play a game."
Best college game I've ever seen was the Vince Young game, and it was overtime, and it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Of course.
Best back and forth, best USC team of all time. It was spectacular. So let's move into today's game. I know you haven't got a chance to see it all, but Texans win 19-16 against the Cowboys. It was a defensive struggle. Deshaun Watson was getting banged up, bro. You should have seen he was getting knocked around. They're doing a lot of that read, that RPO. AKA your quarterback can die in 3 years if you keep running it type offense. And Dak Prescott was forced to pass. Ezekiel had 20 carries, 54 yards. Okay, so give me first of all, give me your thoughts on the Cowboys and how they're structured, and then we'll kind of just go through that after that. I'm curious what you think.
Who actually in the chat just said it was Joseph Boza.
My man.
Or Joseph Boza, yeah, will be interesting tomorrow to see if Jerry Jones whines. Or see if Jerry Jones whines tomorrow. Joseph Boza in the chat.
But the thing about Jerry usually don't whine. Jerry just keeps Jerry's like all shucks, keep it real. He keeps it real. He keeps it honest. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He is the only owner that comes on press conferences after games.
Well,
you have to appreciate that, though.
Well, he represents the owners.
Yeah,
in that regard, he is the owner. He is the quintessential owner in that way that no other owner gets to speak up at all.
Yeah, and I respect that. So no matter win, lose, or draw, he always has to take the brunt of it, though.
Yeah.
Like, whether people like the Cowboys or not, that's tough, man. To be like, so Jerry, what's the problem here? What could you have done differently?
I guess, well, the Philadelphia Eagles won last year, so I guess I should have owned the Philadelphia Eagles.
Is that Jerry Jones' impression? He's more Southern, right?
He's way more Southern than that.
But
I think
when I was done with Jerry, he was channeling Jerry, y'all. But
it's Jerry Jones's essence, I guess.
It's like, I just, we play football and I'm an oil tycoon. It's just one of those things where you cannot figure out both sides of the ball. He just says a bunch of football things, and everyone's like, yes.
Oh yes, he's so eloquent. So eloquent. So you're asking specifically about the Dallas Cowboys.
Currently how they're structured, their quarterback, their running back, their like everything. Because I'm one of them guys, like, trust me, I'm on an island, but I'm literally, because this is how you know you have issues. If you know you have issues and you're getting old and you're getting like really weird in your as you get older, 34, 35-year-old like I am, I'm like hoping Tony Romo comes back for some reason. I watched too many Disney movies or something, man. Like, I just want Tony Romo to be like, you know what, guys, I'll be back. Like, CBS, hold that. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Like, Jerry, suit me up.
Well, I do.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I do want to watch that Disney Channel movie. I do want to watch that Disney Channel made for
TV.
Romo. It's called Romo, but in that movie, Dak Prescott's a villain. Dak Prescott's the villain.
He is though.
Where he's like this. He's the big bad younger he's the big bad young jock.
Seriously.
Who comes in while our hero Tony Romo.
Oh my dude.
Our just blue collar.
Tell me it would not be amazing. He comes out of the broadcast booth. He suits up with the Dallas Cowboys. They go on a Super Bowl run. They beat the Patriots. Tony Romo rides off in the sunset. Come on.
You lost me.
You
lost me at Cowboys go to Super Bowl.
The Cowboys lost 19-16. They're 2-3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Division's kind of crazy. Monday night will prove to be a very important game. It's the Saints, Redskins, and the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, you know the NFC East as well, because you and I are both from the East Coast. It's always a knockdown, drag out, 8-8, 9-7 type of thing.
Definitely.
So what are you seeing right now as far as the Cowboys in this division?
The Cowboys in this division, I think they have as fair a shot as any of the other two teams that have a fair shot at that division. Because the Giants, it's gone. Is this a rebuilding?
Oh, God.
Is this a rebuilding year, y'all? I don't know what's happening.
I don't know anything right now. But
I'm confused with what's going on.
They lost listen, you know it's not your years. You know how football goes. Football's a very interesting sport. When you lose to a 63-yard field goal, and I mean, I'm telling you, Gano could have kicked 75 yards. That thing was like, it's one of the still flying, bro. And I was like, when you lose to that kind of a kick, I'm like, it's one of these years, man.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, it's not your year, which is unfortunate to every Giants fan, and I do sympathize with you, because last year wasn't your year either. No. So, like, it's not your pair of years.
Are you one of those people?
Best.
Are you one of those people that think this is all because of Eli? Are you one of those people that think that? Or you think if they had a better quarterback, they'd be doing much better?
That I blame Eli? No.
What do you think? What do you think it is? Give me the woes of the Giants. And while we're talking about the Giants, they lost 33-31. Like I said, Graham Gano, 63-yard field goal. He kicked it like it was a 5-yard field goal. And it was a heartbreaking loss.
They're just not a well-led team. They weren't last year. They aren't this year. Because everyone's gonna show that clip of Odell Beckham Jr. throwing a touchdown to someone else. What they're not gonna show is he also got a penalty, like a really crucial penalty, in the same game, and dropped a bunch of passes. And like he had a career day, and even on a career day, he didn't do great.
Interesting.
And you could just blame him as a bad apple.
Right.
But in reality, that's a poorly coached team.
And Saquon might be hurt.
Yeah, like those are some people not being led properly. Say what you must about Andy Reid, say what you must about the Philadelphia Eagles. That was never something you could say.
Absolutely not.
I mean, maybe the end of Chip Kelly, but still.
Yeah, that's a different story. Like, but when Reid was there?
But like you could... we had such strong leaders as coaches for so long in Philadelphia that we as a town and as a community that loved this team watched the team slip out of Chip Kelly's hands so fast.
It was quick. It was like he was...
It was so obvious because it was the opposite of what we would have ever expected.
Yeah, they were like, this college experiment's over. It's interesting, bro. Okay, quick, before I move on.
Please.
Who is the division then?
Well,
NFC East.
I'm partial.
Uh-oh.
I'm partial, but I will say the Eagles have the most tools to pick up the Eagles have the most tools on the table right now.
For sure.
to win that division.
And you got to think about it.
And I'm not saying also this division is garbage in the sense that everyone's going to beat the Giants at least once. At least one of those teams is going to beat the Giants twice.
Exactly. So it's going to be counts like I can see the Cowboys.
We're talking about 3 teams. The Redskins aren't super strong this year.
They're doing well. Like I said, it's interesting. They're quietly doing well.
But that's consistently the thing by week 5 with the Redskins, where you're like, I'm sorry, I know it's your squad.
No, it's because it's
But
like
by week 5, but you know
it's
this.
like my family's team, so I had to take all of the heat.
Of course.
I was like, I came out of the womb like you a Redskins fan.
But I will say, like, they're top of the division as of this moment, mainly because they had a bye week.
Without question.
Like, that's not to say they couldn't or couldn't have won.
But
I'm just
still,
saying
it helps when you're not playing football.
Yeah, that as of this, all 3 NFC East teams lost today.
Okay.
And they're the 4th team, and they just happen to not play. So I do think to answer your question, I think the Eagles have the most tools on the table to pick up and get it together and actually win that division. I do think the Cowboys, if the Eagles can't get it together, the Cowboys win by default.
Cool.
And like, once again, I also sleep on the Redskins. Historically, as an Eagles fan, that's what we do.
Though. Like, come on, listen, you ain't supposed to take them seriously, man. It is what it is. They had their run with Joe Gibbs and so on and so forth, and everyone's still holding on to that, you know.
Yeah,
but it's been a while since the Redskins made anybody like nervous to go in like FedEx Field or anything like that. But before I get sidetracked, Steven, I think you have to tell this lovely audience something.
So, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite television shows, from dramas, reality television, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help.
Yep.
We are asking you to please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channels, YouTube will suggest content that is tailor-made for you, and you will help AfterBuzz TV continue to grow. As an example, you're watching this show. If you subscribe to the AfterBuzz TV Sports and Wrestling channel, which we are on, last I heard, last I checked.
I think we're still there. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're still there. It will show you content tailor-made for you and your interests, including other videos where I may or may not say good things about the Cowboys and or the Redskins. That vlog probably exists.
It probably does.
If I made it, it's SEO'd to the hilt. That if you're into this, you'd be into that.
You are so ridiculous.
And you'd find it. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button now for this channel and check out all the other AfterBuzz TV YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments so we will thank you on air. For now, thank you for being the best fans and helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
All right, now before I get some hate mail, like some death threats, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the first win of Baker Mayfield, because he is the second coming of Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Jesus Christ, Zeus, Moses.
On week 5, yes.
Yeah. So, Baker Mayfield gets his first win, 12-9, in a very terrible field goal kick. But I don't care. I'm an apologist for all field goal kickers. It's a tough specialty position. So, as long as it goes through the uprights, we're good. But first of all, speak on Baker, and then speak on who you think is the best rookie through 5 weeks. I'm not talking about career already.
I'm on the spot. I don't think I have a great answer for either of those.
But you'll have a answer. What do you think about Baker?
Well, first off, rookies in general, I think,
especially rookie quarterbacks.
Like rookie quarterbacks. Like, you shouldn't. Something already went wrong in that club if you're starting as a rookie quarterback.
Period.
Like,
I'm like, guys,
Wentz was. We all understand Carson Wentz was a mold breaker in that regard.
But most people do. He struggled his first year, though.
He did, and so. Also, just rookies in general, I do want to say, people always overemphasize the draft.
Yes.
People, there are 3 different football games or 3 different seasons that happen. The draft season, the regular season, and the postseason.
Wow.
They are 3 completely different seasons that have 3 completely different outcomes.
Dropping some knowledge on these young whippersnappers out here.
The draft season is the least important season. I'm not saying it isn't important. I am saying it is not very important.
Absolutely, because everyone's like, Alvin Kamara, who's he?
But
exactly, because they missed him. They missed that guy.
But if you looked at the stats, when did they draft Tom Brady?
Don't that's and he was like, but
Wait,
he's,
like,
he's an outlier. I go, no, he's not.
No,
my favorite.
No, statistically, the biggest look at all the biggest, baddest people in the NFL.
Shannon Sharp's my favorite player. He was
Right.
drafted in the 7th round.
Yeah, like actual indicators of long-term career success are impossible to determine.
You better remember how Ryan Leaf was supposed to be better than Peyton Manning?
Remember when Mike Ditka traded all of his picks away for Ricky Williams?
See,
That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent to starting your best people and injecting them with amphetamines to win in week 1. So that's the least important of the 3 seasons of football. The draft season.
Keeping with that theme, give me your impression on the young buck Baker in his first 5 weeks. That's all I want. Just his first 5 weeks. And not 20 years from now when he's better than Dan Marino.
I think he's no Carson Wentz. No, actually, I have to take that back. He looks really strong.
He does. He looks sharp, right?
Yeah, I think because this is where I come from fundamentally, I do take issue when people talk about a rookie this way.
Like anoint them quickly. Just
give them a year. Give them a full year.
That's all I ask for any, especially rookie quarterback. That's all I ask.
Oh God, a rookie quarterback. I'm like,
Lord, man, come on, where do I start about the quarterback?
Did they lead the team or did someone else lead the team and they were the quarterback?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand. Like when they say Russ, I go Russ has like what he has between these ears here. Russell Wilson is a very don't even talk about. He's a different animal.
Exactly.
His father, his upbringing, his intelligence level. It's just too much, man. Like Russ, there ain't gonna be too many Russell Wilsons walking around. He picked it up like that.
But that's rare and hard to grasp and understand.
Yes.
And I don't know, rookies in general, I think week 5 is a little too soon. Similar to like how it's like, oh, who's gonna win the Super Bowl? It's like it's week 5.
So who's gonna win the Super Bowl, Steve?
Tampa Bay probably. I don't know. It's week 5. The Rams are undefeated. Maybe them.
It's like Tampa Bay. It is so true though. Listen, shout out to anybody that can call a Super Bowl champion like right now. You are seriously amazing.
Also, DM me on Twitter. I think it might be open. If you have verifiable proof that at week 5 or earlier you have called the Super Bowl winner for more
based on real intel, like logic, like not just you're just pulling a name out of a hat.
Honestly, if you pulled a name out of a hat and if you in the last 10 years, if you pulled a name out of a hat and successfully predicted the Super Bowl winner more than 4 of those 10 times, send me your verifiable proof, and I will SEO you to the moon to make sure everybody knows what your pick is.
So
we can move a sports book, yo,
for real.
We will move that line.
Like, I got bills to pay. Y'all holler at your boy. Quickly. So Pittsburgh beat the Atlanta Falcons. Like, listen,
this game ugly.
This is not the same Atlanta team. Let's just call it like we see it. I don't know if it's Steve Sarkisian and his innovative play calling, or is it just like everything? But now on the flip side, everyone's gonna be like, Pittsburgh's back. I'm like, I don't know about that. Atlanta's they are in serious trouble. 41-17 is that's in the NFL. It's just not
to be regarded as a team in the conversation we were just talking about, which let's be like the postseason conversation.
The final six, one of the 6 playoff teams.
Yeah, like there are out of 32 NFL teams, there are still currently 16 teams we are talking about in that conversation.
Let's be honest.
16 to 20 teams by week 5 where you're like, all of these people are still involved in this conversation. You only eliminate 12. Yeah. You lose like this. You lose consistently like this.
Atlanta's in trouble.
You show us in week 1 that you don't learn from your postseason mistake. Like scenario-wise, like we all saw that. It was the beginning of the season. Everyone who watched football watched it happen. And then you never redeem yourself for what happened in that ugly game.
The team is very disappointing, man.
And then you don't redeem yourself on week 1 when more people are watching, and then you just have the season you're having. Like you have the 5 weeks that you're having. Yeah. That eliminates you from that 20-team conversation.
And unfortunately, Atlanta's in the NFC, and I can see they're not probably going to win the division. So like their best bet is a wild card, but the NFC is crazy, bro.
But like
it's crazy.
Why do you want to talk about the wild card in week 5?
Listen, because
what's happening?
I gotta speculate, Steve.
Sorry,
I'm in the chair, man.
I'm saying that as a harbinger for how bad it is for Atlanta.
No, truly do. But like all jokes aside, I think they're in serious trouble, though. I really do. Week 5, you can turn it around. Injuries happen, streaks happen. Listen, they can right the ship. So I'm not writing them off. I don't write any team off in week 5.
Of course not.
I just don't do it. It's absurd, and because I can't be one of those people that pretend to think I can do that.
Well, they're 0-5. If they're 0-5 and you see no signs
I'm writing you off.
I'm not saying I'm not writing off all the teams in week 5.
If you're 0-5, if you're 1-4, I'm writing you off.
Exactly.
So I stand
out
corrected.
of the conversation and win 3 times. You might come back.
So before we get up out of here, because we got this
was all over the place and I loved it.
That's what I got to do when I have limited time. I got to just bounce around. I got to hit you with certain things.
We covered all the things.
But before I get up out of here, it happened to us every year. It's been happening to us about 3 or 4 years. I get excited because I'm an Andy Reid apologist. Andy Reid could probably slap me in the face and I'd be like, he didn't mean it. No, it's a great. He's setting up a scheme. It's probably a play. It's a fancy play call he's working on called Slap Evan.
He's just motivating me.
Yeah,
he's life coaching me because
he knew what I was gonna do. Yeah, I had a show to do on AfterBuzz, and I'm not mad.
He can't be an NFL coach forever. He's transitioning into life coaching,
and I'm good
because he's a salty dude. He will not be a broadcaster.
Absolutely. So that's my thing. That's all I love Andy Reid. So is this for real? Is this the for real Kansas City team? Is this a team that will be in the AFC Championship? They made a hell of a statement against the Jaguars today, a team that I thought would be in the AFC Championship. Am I crazy to start thinking this is the Kansas City team that gets to play on Sunday in February?
I'm not an Andy Reid apologist in the same way you are. I am an Andy Reid fan.
Yeah.
And it'll actually bring me back to my philosophy on the NFL. There's the preseason, the season, and then the postseason. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid is an incredible pre and season coach.
That postseason, man.
Postseason, which, let's be fair, is like the new overtime rules. Like the postseason doesn't typically make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
All the time, like merit-based wise. Like the regular season actually determines who the best teams are.
Yeah.
The postseason, whatever.
Because you can get hot. You can, like the Giants did that one year.
Yeah, like so much so that like Andy Reid, as a coach, I've always looked up to him as someone who, similar to the gentleman at the Oakland A's who did the Moneyball stuff, like he would. Like
Billy Bean.
Like he always struck me as like a Billy Bean, that he's like, I will get you to the playoffs more than your opponent.
But like that.
Once you get there, I don't know.
What you want me to do?
I don't know. I got here.
I can't do everything. But
to answer your question, I think this Kansas City team's for real. I think they are a playoff team. I think Andy Reid is a playoff coach.
5 turnovers, dude, 4 interceptions, something like that today.
Yeah. I started Blake Bortles. And my opponent was starting the Kansas City defense and the Kansas City.
Yeah, see, that is on that.
And the Kansas City quarterback. It was, and we were sitting next to each other for the whole game. It was rough.
So what you're trying to say is you won fantasy this week?
No, I lost. Oddly enough, Blake Bortles had more points.
Listen, which is crazy. Okay, but we got to get up out of here, man.
Yeah.
The DJ's playing the track in my ear, man. That means get the hell out of this room. But with that being said, Steve, I appreciate you coming in here, filling in, man. I might want you permanently if you can make it happen, man. Ooh. I'm going to talk to the powers that be. I'm going to talk to the higher ups. I'm like, can I get Steve Kaufmann a permanent position on this show? Ooh. Put yourself over, brother.
You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively. I'm at Steve Kaufmann, KAUFMANN. I do a lot of cool stuff, including at 10 p.m. Pacific, which is in an hour.
Yeah.
I'll be probably in this room, probably in another room, on this channel talking about WWE Super Showdown. It was live from Melbourne, Australia, 2 a.m. Friday night.
It was good?
It was good. Well, watch the show. I'll send you the link.
It's your boy Evan T. Mack. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Evan T. Mack. Yo, Bosa, what's going on, boy? I'll see y'all next week. We're gonna talk about more football. Hopefully, I have Steve Kaufmann with me. Peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.